Welcome to our podcast. I'm George and he is
Nareg, and we are.
So this podcast, it was made by me and Nareg while we were on Discord one day. And we decided that we have conversations that we would like to share with the people.
Yeah, that is true. I agree with what he just said. You see, I see a lot of people doing podcasts nowadays, right? So, and then we like to think that we are both
Intellectual beings.
Yeah, exactly. And also we have some funny kick to us as well. So
Yes.
we're having these conversations, but nobody's recording them. So I was like, okay. So he was like, okay, why don't we just record and upload it? If it works out, if it works out. If it doesn't work out, we have a memory to look back on. We can just go watch our videos
Yes.
a year from now, 2 years from now, and us two can have a laugh about it as
Yes.
well. I mean,
So-
if it works out, then you guys enjoy as well. So that's pretty much the background of how this came to be.
So how this podcast is gonna work? So we're gonna have a subject to start with. So, example, today's subject will be about LeBron going to the 76ers from free agency because he left the Lakers, and then we start from a topic, and then we go on to other things naturally as the conversation goes. So it's not like a strict with segments and such.
Yeah, it's more free flowing. Yeah.
All right.
We
So
always
here.
like that. What was that?
So let's start. So this
We
morning I woke up and I had seen that LeBron was traded. I mean, he went to the 76ers, which I was not happy about because I had a bet on them on LeBron going to the Heat. $50 on DraftKings. Not sponsored.
Okay. Well, as a Laker fan, I don't know if I should say this, but I don't know. I'm mixed emotions. He got us a ring. He brought us a championship, right?
Mickey Mouse.
Okay, bro, relax. Relax. And then, I mean, he is getting older. And my perspective is that if he were to leave, even though, I get what LeBron means to the world, essentially, and to the Laker nation, right? I know there are a lot of people who are, against him joining the Lakers or actually very happy that he left. I wouldn't say I'm very happy, but I thought it would be good for the Lakers, for LeBron to leave, right? So we can have hopefully a young core, because with his money gone, we're able to sign new free agents or
Yes,
bring in
that is
new
true.
people. We have more cap space now, right? So that was
I-
my intention behind it. Where I was okay with LeBron leaving, right? But now we only have Luka as the superstar. So, we'll see how it goes.
Me
With
personally,
Philly?
Me personally, I was not happy with that decision LeBron leaving because I am a huge LeBron fan, and I do think he's the GOAT, which not
And
here
you
does
just
not
called
agree.
them by giving him Mickey. Why?
Well-
if he's the GOAT, then why'd you tell us that Mickey Mouse ring?
I don't know, it's just a funny thing to say. But as we know, he won us the chip during COVID in Disneyland. I'm pretty sure, so that's why it's called Mickey Mouse.
Well, that's probably Mickey Mouse ring.
Yeah. So I still think he's the GOAT, which Nike does not agree.
I disagree
Why
that
don't
he's the GOAT.
why don't you think LeBron's the GOAT? Explain to me this.
Why he isn't the GOAT?
Yes.
That's because nobody can be the GOAT. We've talked this many times. Okay, how am I the only one in this world who thinks this is how I think? Okay, essentially, it's a team sports. It's a team sport. 5 people on the court, actually 10 people if you count the opposition as well, right? And each of them is named point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, and a center. Okay, LeBron, as great as he is, he cannot play all 5 roles as effective as he would in his primary position, small forward. Or you can't even say
Yes,
point guard.
but
okay?
we can say the best player for any position that we've ever seen. I think it's LeBron, and plus LeBron is a very versatile being because he is technically a small forward, but he has played many roles. He's not just been stuck there. He's a very free-flowing person.
Yeah, but his main thing is small forward. You can't
Yes.
tell me if you put LeBron point guard, he's the greatest point guard to ever play point guard. There's Magic ahead of him, there's Curry ahead of him. If you put LeBron on point guard scale and everything he has achieved was majority of his career was small forward. You can't just be like, he's LeBron James. He dominated in his prime when he played on his small forward position. Let's take his greatness, what he accomplished over the entire career, and put him in point guard. Okay, so now he automatically becomes the greatest point guard of all time. It's not how it works, right? So therefore, anybody, not Kobe, not Jordan, not Kareem, not Matt, like you can't be the greatest when there's 5 different roles and each of them do different things, right? There are 5 different roles, and
So-
I know we are in a positionless basketball, right? But like that just totally unfair to the other generation before them because that back then wasn't positionless, right? The point guard needs to facilitate, right?
So okay. So here. So then by this, do you think that if there is a team sport that there cannot be GOAT? So for example, so you in this regard would think that soccer/football doesn't have a GOAT.
Of course it doesn't have. That's even more. It's insane.
So
like 11 players, and that one has specific roles. Each of them, even the numbers. They got the 6, they got the 7, they got the 10,
you
they
don't
got the
think
9.
that neither Messi or Ronaldo is the GOAT?
No,
All
they
right.
cannot be considered the GOAT.
That
Messi cannot play defense. Messi can't play goal. Cristiano cannot play goal. They cannot play centered defensive midfielders. They're not a 6. Messi is a 10. Cristiano is a 7. There's a specific role. Even the numbers are famous roles. Like you know R9, Ronaldo,
Yes.
phenomenal, right? He's a 9. He that's why he got the 9. That's it. That's his role. That's a 9.
I think a lot of
Kaká,
people will
10,
disagree with you.
Ronaldinho 10. Those are like each of them has a role. If you can't do everything, and you can't, if I can't put you in the left back and you can't be as effective as if you were a striker or midfielder, that means you cannot be the greatest player of all time, therefore, because you alone cannot encompass the position of a left back or a right back or a center back or the goalie. Like goalie is also a player. Center back is also a player. Why can't they be considered greatest player of all time? Why? Because why do you think people are gonna say, well, he doesn't have enough stats?
Think that. A lot of people think that Neuer is the best player of all time, being a
Who?
goalkeeper. I mean, some people say that.
Neuer,
Yeah.
can't be considered the greatest goalkeeper of all time. That can be
greatest player. Like some people consider him the greatest player of all time.
Well,
even
that's
though
not
he's a
possible though, because he can't do what Messi does. He can't, bro. Not even Messi. Forget Messi, Cristiano. He can't do what Memphis Depay can do. A goalie can't do that because Memphis Depay's position is not a goalie. It's not interchangeable. Once every role becomes interchangeable, then you can say, okay, he's the greatest. We can have a conversation about who's the greatest keeper of all time, who's the greatest cam of all time, who's the greatest winger of all time. We could do that because they're playing the same role. But if it's different roles, you can't.
Could you say, for example,
It's a logical statement.
Do you have like your greatest of all time right winger, for example?
Yeah, the right winger is Messi.
Messi. Okay.
I could put him in the right wing, the greatest
Yes.
player of all time. I could
Yes.
even put him in cam, but it's not a 1v1. It's not a 1v1 game. It's a 11v11.
Yeah,
That's why
that
there's
is
a
true.
starting
So
11.
then, like,
Bring full of Messi's 11 versus somebody else who's more diverse, like let's say a good center midfielder.
like a mid-table prem team.
Huh?
I mean, it is true. If you had 11 prime Messis versus a mid-table Premier League team, that Premier League team is beating those Messis
Yeah, that's because
Messi
Messi
cannot play
already
all
on
those
goal
positions.
is a liability.
Yes. So,
My grandma
then,
can score on
could
him
you
on a
say a sport like wrestling can have an all-time GOAT because it is a 1v1 sport?
That's my entire point. But again, even that people are still debating about it. Like if a 1v1 sport, there's a debate, it's subjective, then how can you be like definitively Messi is the GOAT,
Well, you
Cristiano
can
is the
have
GOAT,
your
Jordan
goal.
is
It
the
doesn't have
GOAT,
to be
LeBron is the GOAT.
definitive goal. You can have a person's GOAT.
Yeah, but if a person's personally your personal GOAT, yeah, that becomes subjective already. So therefore, there isn't an objective truth into who is the GOAT. So why do people argue about it? Like it just doesn't make sense to me. It's like you're wasting your time. You're losing brain cells. People who are listening to these conversations, you're literally wasting time commenting on it. Like why? You're not gonna change anybody's position on it because it's a subjective matter and they have some emotional connections to it. They just keep arguing. Like there's no point. Like there's literally no point. Everybody has their preference. And that's how it's gonna be. But like, I keep hearing Messi's the GOAT, no debate. Yeah, it's because it can't be a debate because you can't just solely put every single player's role on your shoulder
Yes.
and then Messi is just everything. Like what?
So speaking about soccer slash football, the World Cup happened a few days ago. Obviously, a few days ago, but it's been a week since the final. What do you think of this World Cup? This is.
Why do I feel like this is an interview? Why don't you give your perspective?
Well, I am giving.
Okay, so guys, the World Cup just happened, George, and this past couple months has been amazing. So what do you feel about the World Cup being in America? Because everybody was saying,
Yes.
oh, America is not a good thing to have the World Cup here. What's your perspective on that?
Personally, I think it was great. I mean, I think we do have a bias living in America. Also, the games were technically in my backyard. I live in a city that a World Cup was happening in. So personally, I think it was great. And unfortunately, I cannot go to the games because they were very expensive.
Yeah.
But just living in a city where World Cup was happening, it was a great feeling. Now, I sense like some issues personally. I mean, not personally. I think that some people were having is the time zones. But to be honest, I think that this was the best time zones we had so far in the World Cup because a lot. Like most countries, their times where games were happening, they were fine. Other than maybe like, I think some countries in Europe more towards the east. But I think the Western European countries, the time was good. What did you think about the games that happened? And like example, like starting off the group stages.
What I thought about the group stages?
Yes.
I think that was like the most fun where everybody was just like, okay, let's get along. It's the World Cup. We're all in it now. Like it's the world together, right? So it was more fun, more games every single day, right?
Personally, I like that it was so many people playing in it. I mean, so many countries because we saw a lot of stars being born from nothing. Example, from Cape Verde, we got Vozinha. So I remember I watched that game where it ended 0-0
against Spain.
0-0 against Spain, and that was just a magic moment because that wouldn't have happened in a previous World Cup because there's a certain amount of teams that can make it.
Yeah.
So when would we be able to see such a small African coast team versus a big team like Spain, which we all expected a domination, which ended 0-0 and captured some magic moments by Vozinha, which he got which he got viral off that.
Of course, like what he gained like 18 million followers just for
I think
game.
Now he has 25 million or something like that. He passed I think every goalkeeper. He passed Neuer in followers on Instagram. That's crazy.
I think right now he has 40 million if I'm not mistaken. I could check that right now.
It's just crazy. I think at
like
the World Cup
it's amazing. But it's because also you were in the United States. I think that
yes,
well.
I definitely think that had a role in it because
29.5 million, not 40. My bad.
That's crazy. I mean, that's like more followers than I think most football stars that I know of. But yeah,
it is a lot. It is
group
a lot.
stages. I think they were fun, and I saw some teams shine. So, like example, like in my opinion, I'm gonna give you an example. Like one of my favorite games that I watched in the group stages was Egypt versus Belgium, which I think ended 1-1. Which that game I think Egypt definitely deserved to win. And I remember Lukaku came and scored a fantastic goal, if I'm not mistaken. What was your favorite game?
That counted. I think that counted as an own goal though on the stat sheet.
I think they did. But I remember I was actually watching it with a friend, not Nareg, and I remember that person was saying Lukaku is a shit player and that he is called Lukaka, as they call him, because he's so old. And I was just telling him, I'm like, I don't know, because he plays in Napoli with his teammate Kevin De Bruyne, which they could link up. And as
they're both
he's
Belgian
saying,
as well.
Yes. So as he's saying Lukaka, this guy comes on 24 seconds and scores a goal, which I think it was technically called an own goal, but he made the goal happen. Which, to be honest, that shocked me. Like, that was crazy. That was personally, I think, my favorite game in the group stages.
I mean, that's a really good one. But also, if we're talking about Belgium, the comeback that they did when they won
Well, that
3-2.
But that was round of 32, right?
That means that we're talking about group stages. Then if we're
Yes.
talking about group stages, then my favorite would be the first United States game for Paraguay versus United States.
Yes, that was.
I thought that game they solidified themselves as the best team in the World Cup. Not because they scored 4 goals, because they played attacking football, which is my favorite type of football. I don't like these pass it back to the center back type thing. They were all on the opponent's side of the field. They just kept attacking nonstop.
I generally think
to the
that
point
was
they were tired.
that was, I think, the best performance that we saw in the World Cup.
Yeah,
to be honest.
for sure from United States, that was their best game.
Yes. And then the new coach, I forgot his name, but he did a great job, I think, in this World Cup. And then, but I think they did underestimate Belgium. That's what happened, and then we unfortunately got destroyed by Belgium. Even though Belgium barely made it through and beat Senegal in the round 32, as you were saying, that game. You can continue on that.
I mean, what do you think of Trump's involvement in removing the
So that's pretty controversial. So, if you remember that the player, can you remind me of his name? I can't remember. I cannot remember. Bellingham. So he received a controversial red card in the game against. Who was it against? Oh yeah. So I was saying. So the team was actually against Bosnia. So the USA, I think, finished that game 2-0 against Bosnia, and I think at the end a controversial red card happened where Balogun he received a red card while being an attacker, which is like doesn't really happen, to be honest. So personally, I think that was unneeded. What do you think about that?
What do you mean by unneeded?
Like that wasn't a red card.
But it's okay. I think it wasn't because they were both going for the ball. They were both going for the ball. They were looking at the ball, right, while it was happening. They both jumped. Balogun didn't see like where he was going to land, right? Unfortunately, it looked horrible, so that's why he gave the red card, right? But then I heard that apparently it's a rule that you cannot slow down VAR to give somebody a red card or
I heard about
whatever,
that too.
right?
I heard about that
Something
too.
like that. So like maybe it would have been overturned without Trump getting involved in the first place, right? That's maybe, but
so yeah, we didn't get there yet, but
then
yeah,
again,
so
I don't know.
So
I don't know.
although if for the ones that don't know what happened, so that red card got overturned, which I think hasn't happened in the World Cup in about 20 years or something like that.
I think something long before. I think
Yeah, no. I think it was like 1960.
Against Jorginho, it happened like during Pele's time, and then Jorginho got a red card.
I can't remember 100%, but Trump did call the president of FIFA, which he did get the red card overturned. So a lot of people were hoping on a downfall of the United States because that did happen, which we did lose that
game. World Cup game, bro. This is not fair. I'm sorry.
For World Cup game, which everyone can have their own opinions about that. Which
I mean, yeah,
a president getting involved in a game, which to be honest,
he shouldn't have. He shouldn't have.
Personally, I don't think he should have done it.
Should stay away from the World Cup.
But here's what I think. I think that Trump doing that was wrong, but from what came out of it was right. That's what I think. I think it should have been a red card. But to be honest, it didn't really matter because we did end up losing
4-1,
4-1, which is like that.
I don't know. It might have been a good thing that they lost.
Yes.
Because like if they would have won, they're gonna be like, oh, Trump got involved.
Yes.
Balogun did it.
If USA would have won, and for example went on to win the finals, which I don't know if that would happen, but that would be called the most rigged World Cup of all time. Right. Even though this World Cup was rigged for Argentina, in my opinion. So can we talk about the fact that the Argentina...
They're going to come for our heads.
Argentina did horrible in every game other than the ones in the group stage where they had weak teams, like Algeria and Jordan. And then the first team that they struggled on was in the round of 32 or 16 against Cape Verde, which they almost lost against them, which is that game I was rooting for them the whole time.
Yeah, Cape Verde, round 32.
Bosnia,
I was
to be honest,
I think
Bosnia deserves well deserved, and he didn't win. Unai Simon won the Golden Glove, but I think he deserved it for that performance personally.
Yeah, for performance, yes, but Spain got scored on one time. And
Yes.
funnily enough, I guess, or not maybe not funny, but coincidentally enough, Belgium scored on them.
Yes.
That's the only team who scored on Spain was Belgium.
Belgium.
And Cape Verde didn't lose to Spain at the 90th minute. Obviously, the game ended in the group
Actually,
stages.
Cape Verde didn't even lose one
Yeah.
game until extended time against Argentina because
Right, but
the
again,
game
they
ended
didn't
3.
lose then too because the first 90 minutes
Yes.
they tied. It was
Yes.
extra time where
Where-
the spice happened and
The spice happened, which that game was very competitive. I love that game. The next game, that's where it hurt me deep because that game. So I have a background in Arab culture, even though not being Arab myself. I was going into supporting Egypt into this game, knowing that Argentina would win, right? So I remember watching Egypt scores the first goal. I'm going crazy. I'm calling my friends. I'm going crazy. And then Egypt goes and scores a second goal with a beautiful, beautiful play by Hassan, I'm pretty sure, which the goal got overturned. So it didn't count. I was already going crazy there. And then forget about that. They score the third goal, which counted as a second goal. Like I was in unbelief, and then somebody called the referee. So what do you think?
I don't know. To be honest with you, that call shouldn't have been overturned,
Yeah, foul.
right?
Yeah.
But it was a foul. But the referee saw he should have called a foul right then and there, right? He let it play on, knowing it was a foul, right? Or if he said no foul, and then after the goal they checked, that makes no sense. Like he said, it clearly was a no foul. Or they should have called the ref from the
VAR.
where the VAR. They'd be like, hey, no, stop the match. That was a fair or foul. Like they let it play from
Yes.
all the way from the other side of the goal to the goal where Egypt has to score at Argentina side. Like
Beautiful goal.
it was a beautiful long stretch goal. It was quick, fast paced, but like
Which doesn't
they
happen.
traveled a lot.
Which doesn't happen. Meanwhile, also knowing that it was against Argentina, the giants of football, the previous World Cup winners. So y'all know what happened. Argentina came back miraculously.
Okay, but the thing is though, like you're up 2-0. England did the same thing against Argentina, which I was mad about. We can talk about that too as well. But like, you cannot have a 2-0 lead and then just like whiff. You just gone. Like you didn't play the same football where you were at 0-0. You didn't play the same football when it was 1-0. You didn't play the same football when it was 2-0. Right? You can't get scored on 3 goals like in 11 minutes or so. Like it's like how is that even a possible thing? Y'all keep just giving the ball to Argentina. Same thing with England did. They're just kicking the ball to Argentina. Like
Yes.
if you hold the ball, if you hold the possession, pass, defender, midfielder, going back like the Pep Guardiola style or whatever, right? You can call it, but defensively.
Which personally, I don't think Pep is the greatest manager of all time. Being a Man
That's
City
another
fan myself.
conversation. This is well covered. Okay, right? That Egypt, right, needed to hold the ball, but all they did is just kick the ball to Argentina. Like at some point, you can't play like that against Argentina. You cannot.
I don't
play
think
like
they did that. I feel like England did that. England did that more. I feel like
England did that more, but like Egypt was like in their head or something happened. Like and after 2-0, they're yelling rigged. But it wasn't rigged the first 2-0 when they scored. They were winning. They were happy. What happened?
Personally, I think it was rigged. I think
it was maybe we can call it a bias. Maybe they had a bias towards Argentina because they're a big team or whatever. We don't have to get into it, but like
and then we all know what happened with England.
that was horrible. That was disgusting.
They scored the first goal. I think it was Gordon, if I'm right.
Yeah, it was.
Scored the first goal with Argentina. And while I'm watching this game, I know it's coming. I'm watching this game happen, and I'm like, Argentina They did it against Egypt. They can do it against things. And I'm watching how passive they're playing.
Cannot play, or cannot park the bus, right? As it is in. You can't do that, but you can't do that. Have you not seen? It's like England decided not to watch the replays or the highlights or whatever, or like the entire tape of Argentina's games, because what they do every time they won, they were down. They came back last minute, right? England decided they're up, and let's just give them a ball. Let's just give them a ball. Go ahead, shoot the ball. We have our greatest goalkeeper of all time. What happened? They lost.
So
you can't lose games like this. You cannot allow yourself to lose like that. You just can't.
But I think that they made it up against France, which that was phenomenal.
Yeah, that's because they didn't care.
Yes,
it was just like, let's go back and forth. It was a fun game, you know.
Yeah, it was a fun game to watch. It was.
It was like PSG versus Bayern essentially.
Yes.
For the Champions.
It was four up England in the first half, and then France comes in with 3 goals. And I think it ended 6-5, if I'm right. Eventually, England played good.
6-4.
6-4. But yeah. Oh, and then the final, as we all know, Spain
dominated them.
Spain.
They ate them up, spit them out, ate them up, spit them out, ate them up, spit them out.
I don't think it was a domination in goals, but in possession, I think they dominate. They
domination is an understatement.
It was. To be honest, I didn't expect a lot from Argentina from watching them barely win against these smaller teams, but I had a glimmer of hope because they did make a comeback against these teams, and I'm like, they can do it against England, they can do it against Spain, which they didn't because it happened a late goal opening. I feel like if the goal was earlier on, Argentina could have won that game, but that's what I think.
I mean, yeah, because if we go back to the same thing, that these new tactics that you score a goal and you start playing defensively, like, it just doesn't make sense. As soon as Argentina got scored on, they started having a little bit more of a possession. Like, why they couldn't do that from the beginning, right? So it's like a coincidence that every time somebody scores, it just plays more defense rather than what got you to go. What got you to go? Keep playing that way, you're gonna get another one, right? Especially now that they're hyper, they can't, like, they're just gonna play. They make one mistake, you can counter it. They did that better. They counter attack. It was offside. They also canceled a goal. I have no idea how that was even a foul.
I do think it was a foul, to be honest. I do think
it wasn't, right?
No, I think it was a foul.
It was how?
I remember, to be honest, but at the time I remember I was agreeing that it was a foul.
But
to be honest though, I think it's a boring final. Like, it was like, yes, I was happy that Argentina lost and Messi lost, which I know a lot of people are not going to be happy about me saying that.
There's no such thing as GOAT, so you can say anything you want.
Yes, but why do you keep hitting that thing? Okay. Yeah, so yes, Messi did lose, which at the end he was crying, and I think that he was not crying because he lost. I think he was crying because it was his last game, that was sad to me. But
his last game as an Argentinian player in Argentina, which, yes, maybe because he was
in the World Cup. I think he'll play.
Maybe
Copa.
he might play.
I think he'll play in the Copas.
Maybe.
But so here, this will be my take in the World Cup. The most underrated player in the whole World Cup was Rodri, which he ended up winning the Golden Ball. I think he was the key to success for Spain. Even though he doesn't have the goals, he doesn't have the assists, he was the one controlling all those games, leading to Spain's overall victory. Which we did see his win for the Ballon d'Or, which I am a Man City fan. Again, I have a bias towards Rodri. So,
And I'm not a fan of Man City, therefore I have a bias against Rodri as well, but different type of biases.
Yes.
I mean, it was fun. Honestly, I'm sad that the World Cup is over.
Yes.
But then again, like
I'm currently in a state of depression and denial for the World Cup being over.
I mean, we gotta wait 4 more years.
I think we all agree on that. Well, the Euros and Copa is coming up soon, 2 years.
I know, but like, dude, I don't think that again. It was so hyped, right? It was so hyped, especially now Americans, as an American citizen myself, but like, the Americans love the sport now. Like, they get it now. They understand it now. The World Cup magic, like, that's all it's there. So I really hope this continues and it goes on to the Euros as well. Like, the Americans start watching it and then follow it.
But I feel like the issue with that is there's no U.S. national team in those games.
I mean, yes, there isn't, but it's not like they weren't watching other teams. It's not like they were just watching USA. So,
yes.
I mean, the Haaland, Cristiano, Messi, or like a majority of these football players gained followers.
Can we just backtrack a little bit? So there's something, I'm not trying to rub salt in the wound for Nareg here, but so a game happened with the team I was supporting at the time, Norway, versus...
No, they deserve to lose. Lucky ass game.
Versus Nareg's team, which is Brazil. And we did end up winning, which was amazing. We won 2-1 with a bullshit goal at the end by Neymar, the penalty, which you guys missed the first penalty.
If we would have made that penalty, we would have won that game. The entire game would have been different. The entire game. And Neymar was saying it. If I was the one who'd been taking the penalty the first time, that would have been a goal. And he proved it. The goalie started dancing. He was doing a little dancing thing. He didn't even jump. That's how Neymar got him. Well, we would have won. We would have.
Stop hitting the table because it sounds weird. Okay. Holland. Again, I'm a Man City fan. That was a great game for me, and that was like the best I ever felt in the World Cup. Also, Egypt's game was fun to me too. Also, I would like to mention Aisho Speed. I really like Aisho Speed in that World Cup. He made a song. He performed and pre-show for the final. He streamed at all the games. I liked Aisho Speed in that, which he got involved in that.
Funny thing, you say that a lot of people I'm seeing on Instagram or like in the comment section, they're not happy that SportsCenter and everybody like they just keep showing Speed, their reaction and posting about Speed when it should be about the World Cup. They're like get the streamer off my screen and stuff like that. But it's so funny that you're saying that you were happy about him and then him being there. And
to be honest, I have been a fan of Speed for a while now. I remember watching him when he had, I think, less than 1 million subscribers on YouTube, like all those years ago. But I enjoyed that. I liked how he's matured as a person, and also I think that he's brought in a lot of young fans and new fans to the sport that we love.
Yeah, that's true, probably.
Yeah. All right, so I think that's a good natural end to our podcast. Let us know what you guys think. Comment down below.
Maybe new subject to talk about.
New subjects.
I want it to be like he said, like natural, free flowing, but also like we can go like subject to subject as well. Like we can have a hot topic of the day, right? And we can have a brief moment of talking about the hot topics of the day, like just like how LeBron today was the hot topic, right? So something like that, and then we can move on to many different types of topics. Because like we said at the beginning, like we have a funny kick to us, and also we like to think ourselves like we're not super smart or geniuses, but for real like intellectual topics that we can even talk about psychology, philosophy, theology, right? Like we don't shy away from those conversations. Then if people are interested in that, then for sure we would be talking.
So let us know what we should talk about. Let us know what you think about us. And yeah, thank you for watching.
Just get some views. Imagine it's just 0 views. Nobody.
Thank you for watching.
All right, see you guys.